Alatia's here. Hi, Warren. Mia. Hi, Mia. Shireen is here. Hi, Ikran. Oh, Milena. Hi, Milena. Hi, Brianna. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste the attendance question again. As students are entering into the Zoom, I want to make sure that you get a chance to respond to the attendance question in the Zoom chat. Okay, once you have responded to the attendance question, go to our Schoology course page. And then from there, can you believe it? We're in week 8. Go to our week 8 agenda. Angelina is already there. All right, once you get to the week 8 agenda, let's follow Angelina's lead and put, I'm there. And while you're doing that, I will share my screen with you and I will take you there as well. Our week 8 agenda is on slide number 8. We'll talk a little bit about what you can expect from this week. We'll talk about what we're going to do today, and then I will let you go to get on with your summative assessment. Okay, welcome back. I hope that your MEA break was a good one. I know that looking at the attendance question that for everybody it was kind of all over the board. Some of us had a great MEA break, and for some of us, our families relied on us quite a lot, and we had to do more than we normally would during a school week. So we are looking at our agenda. We are at the tail end of Module 2, and we are beginning Module 3. Today and tomorrow, we are going to be working on our Module 2 summative assessment. Today, during whole group learning, I'm going to go over our summative assessment and go over the directions, go over exactly what you need to do, and then there will be time for us to ask any questions that we might have about the summative assessment. Tomorrow, there will be no formal Zoom, so you don't even need to show up to the Zoom. The only reason why you would need to show up to the Zoom is if you have questions about the summative assessment. I'll be waiting in the Zoom for you in case if you have questions, but if you don't have any questions, no need to come to the Zoom. And then on Wednesday, we're going to be starting Module 3, and our essential question that we're going to be answering through the lens of the texts we are reading for Module 3 is going to be, how does our point of view shape our view of the world? And so we are still going to be looking at analyzing author's purpose, character motivation, author background, cultural background, author's past, looking again still at irony, at theme, all of those literary devices that we've been talking about. But in Module 3 is where we're really going to start to refine and focus our 10th grade English skills to get us prepared and ready to go on to English 11, because believe it or not, we're at week 8 and November 7th is the last day of our term. And then from November 7th till approximately the second week of January will be our second term. So we are pretty much halfway through the semester at this point. Can you believe it? So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at the summative assessment. The summative assessment is open and it is enabled and it is ready for you to take. And you can see that some of us, our more industrious colleagues, have even already started it. When I share it with you, Ishal says that the summative assessment says private access only. Go ahead and follow that link. And are you having the same issue? If so, let's go there from a different way. Okay. So the link is working for some, the link is not working for everyone. So the second link that I shared, click on summative assessment, and that should take you there. Oh, Schoology. Oh, Schoology. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
I clicked on the first link and I still have access.
Great. Okay. So if you don't have access, click on the second link and see if it works okay for you. I love it when you stop me and you tell me that something isn't working for you, because otherwise I don't know. So don't ever feel like you're interrupting me or like you don't want to talk over me. You can always let me know in the Zoom chat or just unmute yourself and just interrupt me, because if you don't tell me, then I don't know. So thank you so much for letting me know. All right, so let's take a look at this summative assessment. This summative assessment for Module 2 is nearly identical to Module 1 in the framework of it. Let's talk a little bit about it. When you get on it, you should be able to drag back and forth and up and down, and you should be able to see all of the spots. Let's talk about those spots. So the first thing that you'll do is you'll choose one of the following texts. So either you'll read this short story, you'll read this nonfiction document, or you'll watch this short film. Let's talk a little bit about those. So this option is a short story called The Wife Story, and it's by Ursula K. Le Guin. And this short story is like speculative fiction. It's a thriller, it's science fiction, it's super interesting. Let me read the blurb to you. Is the narrator's husband, who has been acting strangely, really still one of the group? Or you can read this one. This is a nonfiction argument written by Ishmael Reed, which is called America, the Multinational Society. And this blurb is, what does it really mean to be American? A poet and novelist considers his own experience. And I purposefully chose this argument text, this nonfiction text, because I remember how much you guys really loved those court opinions and that you have a lot of passion for some pretty deep, complex, and complicated issues. And I thought that this would be great for those of you who really like nonfiction texts. Or this is about a 20 to 25-minute short video that is called Life is Strange, and it is by the Japanese producer and author Sukuyorun. And it is basically about unexpected kindness. It's super good. I really love it. You might be in the mood to read, you might be in the mood to watch something. It's totally up to you. Go ahead, Angelina.
When you said the title Life is Strange, I start thinking of the game.
There's a
Before
game.
Yeah, there's a game called Life is Strange, but I don't remember of how it goes because I've never played it, but I remember that there's a game called Life is Strange because one of my friends play it.
Oh, I'm wondering if maybe the title is based on that game. Thank you for sharing.
But
That's cool.
I don't know, but I don't think it's based on one or the other. But
Okay.
I don't know, but I don't think so.
Okay. Well, thanks for sharing. Okay, so you'll choose to read either this, or this. And then once you've read or once you've watched, just like before, you will choose 6 out of the 8 following questions to respond to. Now, all of these questions kind of come from the essential question, what differences can't be bridged? And these are questions, these 8 questions should all be familiar to you. You have spent significant amount of time answering all 8 of these questions in some form or fashion for the formative assignments that you have done in Module 2. Let me take a moment and read some of the questions to you so that you start to feel comfortable with them. Number 1, how do literary devices such as figurative language, symbolism, and characterization and the messages they communicate to the audience suggest the text's theme? Number 2, what did the text structure highlight? Number 3, how did the author's tone affect the way you connected with the text's overall message? Number 4, how did the author's appeals to the audience, language used, or graphics, if you watched this, contribute to the text's overall message? Number 5, how did the author convince you to agree with him, her, them? Number 6, how did the author feel toward the text setting? Number 7, how did the character's motivations help contribute to author's purpose? And number 8, finally, how did the author's cultural background help contribute to author's purpose? Okay, so I wouldn't choose which questions you want to respond to until you have read this story, this nonfiction text, or watched this video, because they are very specific. And it may be after you engage with one of the texts, you're like, oh, those are the 6 questions that I want. I'm going to be looking for the same exact thing that I was looking for in Module 1. A lot of you probably recognize that I'm kind of a tough grader during summatives. I'm looking for thorough responses, well thought out responses with direct and indirect reference to the text using quotes and paraphrases. I want you to answer all of your 6 chosen questions in at least 3 to 5 sentences and an attention to grammar. I'm looking for those 10th grade skills. I want to make sure that you are demonstrating proficiency in the 10th grade skills areas, and that's how I am going to be grading. Now, when you look at the directions, how to complete this summative assessment, the directions are nearly the same as they were for Module 1. You'll choose a text, remember just one. It's okay if you want to read or watch the others, that's totally fine, but you only want to answer the 6 questions through the lens of one of these. You'll choose 6 questions to respond to. You'll create a Google Doc. You'll name that doc Module 2 Summative. You'll copy and paste the questions you are going to answer in that document, and then you'll respond to each question under the corresponding question. You'll upload to this assignment Dropbox, and this summative assessment will count for your attendance tomorrow. You may begin taking the summative as soon as we log off of the Zoom. It's open, it's ready for you. So you've really got all day tomorrow and then all day today to focus on it. If I were you and this was my summative, you know what I would do? I would either read this, or watch this today. And then tomorrow, I would think about which 6 questions that I want to respond to, and then I would go back to this. I would give yourself 2 days to work on it. And it's always good to sleep on it because the information that, kind of downloads into your brain today processes well overnight and would be very good for you to do some answer output tomorrow. All right, so that's the summative assessment. What questions have I created for you? Okay, feel free to drop your questions in the Zoom chat or unmute yourself and ask your question. Or if you want to raise your hand, that's fine too. So that way I know you have questions. Okay, before you log off the Zoom today, if you don't have any questions, I have a question for you. How do you feel about the summative assessment? You can go ahead and respond in the Zoom chat, and then you can log off and get going on it. And I will see you formally in Wednesday's Zoom. Remember, tomorrow's Zoom is just for any questions. You can also email me, you could text me. I'm always available to respond to your questions. Once you respond to me, go ahead and log off the Zoom, and I will see you Wednesday. There's also a message from Miss Remmer in the Zoom chat. She's also a wonderful person that you can turn to as well for help tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day.